Welcome to People and Places Today. On today's show, Melissa goes sailing and discovers Useppa Island with Captiva Cruises. Today's show is brought to you in part by Steve and Doris Colgate's Offshore Sailing School, America's #1 sailing school, and by Exclusive Destinations, exclusive South America travel and Galapagos cruise experts. And now, your host, Melissa DeHaven.
Hello and welcome to People and Places Today. It's a beautiful and exciting day. We're in Venice Beach and are going to go sailing on a brand new 43-foot cruising sailboat with Steve and Doris Colgate's Offshore Sailing School, the #1 sailing school in the country, I might add. What an adventure! We're traveling all the way back to Fort Myers Beach. Well, I'm ready to set sail. Come on, let's jump aboard, mates. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Steve.
Hello, Melissa. How are you?
Ready to go sailing,
Fantastic.
I think. Okay, everybody, this is Kevin Wensley and Steve Colgate, the owner. Kevin, you're going to be instructing us
That's it.
today?
Yeah, looking
All
forward to that.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
Come
me
on,
too.
let's go on a big adventure.
Okay.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard. Do you want to reach up? Okay, so Melissa, there's only 3 rules in sailing,
Okay.
and if we get these 3 rules right, then everything else pretty much falls into place.
Okay.
So, rule number 1 is we keep the people in the boat.
That's a very good
It is a
rule.
good rule. Rule number 2 is we keep the water out of the boat.
Extra really good rule too.
And rule number 3 is we look good.
Look good.
And you look fantastic, but I mean the boat has to the boat has to look good too. So what I'm going to do here is stow all the lines and fenders, but we're going to coil and crown the dock line. So I'm going to show you how, and then you're going to do it.
Okay.
So you start off with taking an end of the line, hang it down about 3 feet, as long as the loops are going to be, and then start to lay coils on one at a time, keeping them nice and even, so they don't kind of do strange twisty things. And then once you get close to the end, we're going to then take a turn about 2/3 of the way up. And as you come around, you want to wrap up over the first turn, and then keep doing that, coiling and wrapping. Here we go, all the way up towards the.
Oh,
snug
good.
that up. And look at that. Check it out. It looks good.
I did it.
Great. I think we got 2.7 or 2.8 nautical miles at 290 magnetic would take us back to where we've been. So that's how far we've come so far. And we've got 50 miles to go.
50 miles. Nautical miles?
Nautical miles, which are a little bit longer than land miles, because you have to factor in the waves. That's not true.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Well, you're going
A nautical mile, sorry, I can't help myself. A nautical mile is what we call 1 minute of latitude. So latitude being how many degrees north and south you can be. So you can be up to 90 degrees north and 90 degrees south, and each degree breaks down into 60 minutes, and each minute is a nautical mile. And it's about 1.2 land miles.
Okay, got it.
So you've got 50 nautical miles, which is probably about 55, 56 land miles.
How's the sailing going over there? Not sailing it, huh? Just motor? No, we'll be sailing.
We're motoring at the moment, and then we'll be hoisting sail momentarily, as soon as you get warmed up and ready to go. So when we pull this, main sail's going to crank sail. All the slack that we're gathering here needs to be taken out right there.
I should put my hair up. Or it's pretty flowing in the wind. The nicest thing I've seen that can open. Now if I could just snap.
I guess thing that falls down the sail is called a main sheet.
Okay.
So this red line is our main sheet. That's
the main sheet is
main
the
sheet.
sail.
No, the sheet.
Oh.
The sheet is a line. So there's, first of all, there's no ropes on a sailboat. There's only lines. And a sheet is a line that controls the angle of the sail to the wind. So it controls the sail in and out. So sheets are in and out. And then the thing that we're using to make the sail go up is called a halyard.
Okay.
So halyards are up and down and sheets are in and out. So this is the main sheet. It allows the main sail to go in and out of the boat. So we're going to have the main sheet, it's going to be loose, and then the other thing we're going to have loose is this thing called a boom vang. So there's our boom vang. That's a black line that runs back along here. It looks like it comes out inside the cockpit just there. So you're going to give that end a little bit of a tug so we can work out which line it is we're working with in the cockpit.
Okay. Let's see. That's the top one of the boom
Bang, 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 boom, bang.
boom thing.
Go ahead and put a little bit of slack in that line. Give it another foot.
This way?
Yeah, that's just like that. Perfect. Pull up
Does
as
this all
close.
have to happen in a fast motion?
Well, if it does, it looks good. And rule number 3, of course, is
You must look good. Down. More? Okay. Oh man, it gets hard. Pulling out. Okay. Woo. Okay.
Okay, that looks good.
Now this way. Now we're sailing. It was exciting. Well, it's a beautiful day and a huge adventure for me. And I'm here with Steve Colgate, who's the owner of Steve and Doris Colgate's Offshore Sailing School. And it's just been an honor. Thank you so much for letting us on board today.
Well, we're delighted to have you.
Thank you. Really, it's been an adventure driving and helping hoist the sail.
Well, you're doing a great job.
Thank you. So, can I ask you, Steve, how long have you been sailing?
I've been sailing since the age of 9. I'm 77
Wow.
now, almost 78.
Wow.
And we started the school in 1964, so 2014 is our 50th anniversary for the school.
Wow, that's a big celebration.
It is. It is. We're trying to figure out what to do, you know. So,
Uh-huh.
any ideas? We'd
Huge
like-
party, definitely.
Big party. Okay.
Big 50th.
We have 3 locations in Florida: Captiva Island, Pink Shell, it's Fort Myers Beach, and in St. Petersburg. And we have 1 in Tortola, British Virgin Islands. And those are our year-round locations. Then we have some seasonal locations, 3 in New York Harbor and 1 in the Chesapeake.
Wow. And so, did you start here in Florida, or where was your starting point?
We started in City Island, New York. Or actually started in New York City, and using classrooms in New York City to teach sailing, and then go out on the water in City Island, New York. It's in the Bronx.
And was there anything particularly that inspired you to start a sailing school?
Well, I was at a cocktail party with a friend, and he had a cruising sailboat, and I had the experience. I'd already done a transatlantic race from Cuba to Spain, and
Wow.
had
From
done
Cuba to Spain, a race,
a
racing
race
all
from
the way.
1955 before Castro,
Wow.
and then I'd done a whole bunch of other types of racing. I raced in the Olympics, raced in the Pan American Games,
In the Olympics?
In 1968 Olympics, when we started the school before the 68 Olympics.
Wow,
And,
that's incredible.
And so, yes, I'd done a lot of sailing, and he had the cruising boat, and I had the experience, so we got together, and we started probably just about the first sailing school in the United States.
Have you ever been caught up in any hurricanes or just crazy weather that was a little
there was
scary?
a Fastnet race from Cowes, Isle of Wight in England, around Fastnet Rock off of Ireland, and then back to Plymouth, England. And in 1979, a big storm came through, and I was on that race with my own boat, 54-footer, and 19 people died on that race.
Oh, wow.
But we won our class. So that was the worst weather I've ever been in. 85 mile-an-hour winds.
And is there ever a point where you're really afraid for your life? Like, wow, are we gonna get through
I think
this?
some people on our boat were, but you know, I was too preoccupied with racing the boat and making sure everybody was safe.
So have you placed in any of the races ever, like first?
Oh
second,
yes,
third?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, in 1955 I was on the Fastnet race, and I was on the boat that I raced from Cuba to Spain on, and we were the first boat ever to do it under 4 days, so we broke the record. And then in 1985, 30 years later, I was on principal helmsman of this 82-foot maxi, and we broke the record again.
Wow.
So twice
Wow.
I've been on record breakers on this very famous race.
Wow, that's great. Congratulations. Well, thank you again,
Well,
Steve.
Thanks,
This was
thanks
just
for coming aboard.
It was wonderful.
Everyone.
Wonderful adventure. What a beautiful boat and a great experience. If you want to learn how to sail, contact Steve and Doris Colgate's Offshore Sailing School, and you'll be sailing in no time. Up next, we venture off to explore one of Florida's member-only islands. Right after this, Spotlight on Business. I'm here with Denise and Steve Hollister at Twist and Vine Bistro.
This is one of our favorite wines.
What is that, a Sauvignon?
It's a Sauvignon Blanc, yeah, from Napa Valley.
Delicious.
This is our beautiful cheese plate that we have here. We're known for our cheeses.
Oh, wow, look at this. What a variety. So what is Twist and Vine Bistro most known for? What do you think?
I think we're known for the high quality of our food. You know, we buy only premium ingredients. We try to source them locally through the, we have our own garden, the urban garden. We have our own farm that grows vegetables for us. Denise grows our own herbs outside, and we use local seafood, and we try to keep it as fresh as possible. The closer to us, the better. We're also known for our wine program. I mean, we have some boutique wines, we have some little-known wines, we have a lot of the classics. Also, we're working on getting a Wine Spectator Award, which is a prestigious award for people that are in the know with wine, and we spend a lot of time and effort on our wine program, making it accessible for the beginner, but also nice enough for an experienced wine person to enjoy themselves here tonight.
Great. Yeah, there's always. Ooh, what do we have here?
This is our pan-seared snapper. There's a fried risotto cake on the bottom, a pan-seared snapper, topped with a little bit spicy tomato sauce with lobster and sriracha. And then we have our broccoli from our farm, and it's topped off with one of Denise's little edible flowers that come right from the garden here on property.
So will you guys show us the outdoor courtyard?
You have to see it.
Yeah, I would love to. Okay,
check
good.
it out.
Yeah, let's go.
It's a great place for a party.
It is. So this is your beautiful outdoor courtyard. I love it. And now I know you guys host Ladies' Night out here on Mondays, the first Monday of the month, is
First
it?
Monday of the month from 5:30 to 7.
5:30 to 7, and it's ladies come out, and you guys have raffles.
Oh, it's
and
free appetizers,
Free
complimentary
appetizers.
We do a $5 wine tasting, and all the local shops, the merchants, they donate prizes. And
Well, thank you so much for the tour.
thank you, Melissa. It was
Thanks for
fun.
having us.
I'm glad you came out.
Thank you. Make sure you come out to Twisted Vine Bistro for a delicious meal, delicious wine, and of course, come out and say hello to Steve and Denise.
Say hey to us.
Good morning. We are on Captiva Island. We're getting ready to board one of the Captiva cruises. We're taking a special trip out to Useppa Island. I cannot wait for this adventure.
want to welcome you guys aboard the Catamaran Santiva here, guys. We're going to take a few minutes and point out a little bit of the safety equipment on this vessel here. It is inspected by the U.S. Coast Guard, and they require us to tell you guys where your safety equipment is kept on the boat. Now we are in our manatee season right now. There's a green marker in front of us with a white rectangular sign. And on the bottom of that sign, it's going to say Manatee Zone, slow speed, April 1st through November the 15th. There's usually a quarter of a mile shoreline buffer to protect the manatees here in the estuary. So we'll have to go slow through this channel until we get up to the end of the channel and out of course, the restricted manatee area.
Good morning, how are you today?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Good. Well, it's a beautiful morning. Is this your first time going out to Useppa?
No, I've been there a number of times, and I live close by, and I've taken my boat to both Cabbage Key and to Useppa on a number of occasions.
Oh yeah? And what's your favorite thing to do out there? What do you like to do? What do you go there for?
Well, first of all, in Useppa, it's got the Collier Hotel. It's a really very old hotel, but really very nice, and they have a really nice restaurant. They also have I think it's an Indian museum with a lot of artifacts from when I can't remember the name of the Indians. The Calusa Indians, and they have artifacts like arrowheads and things that they made, spoons and knives and forks and axes and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm looking forward to checking that out.
The fish market used to be up the Peace River, which is to the north of us here up in Charlotte Harbor. And the boats, the commercial fishing boats would come out of Captiva Pass. You see it right over here to the west. They would bring the catch over here to these historic fish houses. They would drop the catch off, and of course the smaller, quicker runner boats would come down from the river and take the catch up to the fish market. So they were very versatile back in the day when they were useful. They were used all the way up until about the early 1950s. And of course boats, developed, and ingenuity. The engineers, of course, developed the ice machines on the boats. There was no longer a need, for these fish houses as a drop point for the catch.
Throw it on that one.
Hi, welcome to Useppa.
I'm excited to be here.
Well, you should be. It's a very special place. It is a private island. The Barbara Sumwald Museum is the only public place on this private island. And you can make arrangements to come to the museum, but the rest of the island is totally private. The museum is owned and run by the Useppa Island Historical Society, which is a very generous group of homeowners and other people interested in archaeology and cool stuff.
Thank you.
The habitation of the island has been pretty much continuous. A couple hundred years here and there was nobody here, but there was not much to do either. The climate changed, the ice age ended, the waters rose, and Useppa became an island. It is still a high point. In Florida, this is 40 feet above sea level.
Oh, wow.
Which is quite
Yeah,
amazing.
it is. For Florida.
Never think. Fortunately referred to as the Four Flags Room, simply because Useppa in its existence originally, of course, was under no flag, and then the Spanish had a lot of doings here in the early Calusa days. The Spanish came in the 1500s, and of course part of their job was to convert the native peoples to their religion. There was a tragic sequence of events. The Calusa were fairly generous people, and one of the caciques, or the kings, the head of the tribe or clan, gave one of the Spanish people his sister as a bride. It was very thoughtful, and thought that that would be enough to keep the Spanish off their backs. But because they refused to adopt the Christian religion, the Spanish decided to murder that cacique.
Oh my.
Oh, yeah, and
Wow.
they killed his brother, and you know, they didn't get along well after that at all.
Well, geez.
So
yeah, I wonder why. That's
Then
terrible.
came the period of disease when the European diseases that were unfamiliar to the people who lived here in North America caught up with them, and most of the Calusa died or fled into the Everglades. Some went to Cuba because they had a trading situation with Cuba. They went back and forth in their canoes.
Wow.
They were quite amazing paddlers. Actually, on Pine Island, the Calusa dug a canal across Pine Island, which is right over there from where we are now, 2 miles long, 30 feet wide, 9 feet deep.
Wow.
Series of 7 locks.
Wow.
It was amazing.
Wow.
So
How in the world did they do that back in the day?
shell
That's
tools.
crazy. Wow.
All those tools in the other room were used to
That's
do
crazy.
big work.
Yeah.
Another interesting thing about Useppa is that even though Florida was the 3rd state to secede from the Union during the Civil War, Useppa was a Union outpost. So all the Floridians who, not all of them, but many Floridians who didn't agree with secession came here to Useppa. Mr. Baron Collier was trying to sell some advertising to Mr. Roach, and Mr. Roach said, well, yeah, I'll buy your product if you buy my island.
Oh.
So that appealed to Baron Collier. Incidentally, Baron Collier was not royalty. His first name, Baron, was named after a Civil War general, as was his second name, Gift. Baron Gift Collier, not royalty. Anyway, he bought this island in 1911, owned it till he died in 1939, and it was Baron Collier who made this a playground for the rich and famous.
Ah.
Yeah. People came here to tarpon fish, the Silver King. As it says on the board, the Isaac Walton Club was founded here on Useppa, a very prestigious fishing club, a conservation group, and all these lovely people went out on all these little boats, and you can see how the guide boats were on a tow line and towed by a bigger boat.
Wow.
That this is where the Bay of Pigs invasion was planned. The initial planning was done here. There's a building across from the museum that is now the Pro Shop. That's where they did psychological evaluations and a little bit of pre-training before the members of the invasion went to Panama for land training.
Wow.
But the CIA...
So right here on the island.
Right here on Useppa, the CIA snuck on the island under cover of darkness. No one knew they were here. Well, I don't think they did. And they weren't supposed to anyway.
Right. Well, thank you so much for this tour. This has been great, Kaden.
I
love Useppa so
I
far.
hope you come back and bring all your friends.
I think we will.
Okay.
So pretty. Yes. Let's see. Hopefully it'll stay. Oh, there's little milk stuff falling out. Oh, it's right there.
It's conditioner.
That's funny.
You can put it between your teeth and dance.
Yeah. Put it behind my ear. All right. It's terrific day trip to Useppa Island, and it was such a beautiful ride out on Captiva Cruises. You should come check it out. We just got picked up in a golf cart. He gave us a ride back to the boat for Captiva Cruises. Would you tell us your name?
Yeah, my name's Brian McColgan.
Brian McColgan, and you've been a resident here on Useppa Island. You were telling me for how long has it been?
We bought a home here in 1985, built another one in 1990, and have been part-time for many years and now full-time for the last 8 years or so.
Wow, full-time throughout the entire year?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, yeah, we'll go to Maine for a few months when it gets very warm here, but yeah, this is the weather right now in May, June, and July is fabulous.
Great, and what's your favorite thing about living here on the island?
The people.
The people?
Yeah, it's all about the people here. This is just the nicest, greatest community you'd ever want to live in. It's, you know, it's like maybe RFD or something like that. It's crazy. You go to get the newspaper, and 3 hours later you get home. It's just more fun, and parties erupt, and good times, and trips, and things like that. It's the best community I've ever seen or ever heard of.
Wow, that's great. And do you get off the island often? Or
Sure,
do you
all
stay
the
here a lot?
time. Yeah, this is a boating community. So if you want to, of course we have a nice restaurant here, but if you want to change, it's easy to get over to Cabbage Key or to Boca Grande, to North Captiva, etc. I mean, if you're a boater, this is the place to be. And I would say 25% of the residents here first arrived at the marina or anchored offshore in a boat and ended up buying a home.
Wow, well, it's so nice to meet you. They told me when I got off here, you know, most of the residents are gone. You probably won't see any of them. So it's so nice to meet you. And thank you so much for the ride.
You're welcome.
Thanks a lot. Okay, have fun.
Okay.
I love Florida. I really do. And what a beautiful day it's been today. We got to take a nice boat ride out to Useppa Island. Then we got to go on the island, do a little tour, get a little tour of the history there, and have a delicious lunch. I mean, what more can you ask for a nice little day trip? You get to see all of the beautiful things here in Southwest Florida has to offer, with people and places today. Well, that's our show for this week. Come on a new adventure with me every Saturday morning at 10:30 to explore the wonder and beauty that our communities offer with people and places today.
Today's show was brought to you in part by Steve and Doris Colgate's Offshore Sailing School, America's #1 sailing school, and by Exclusive Destinations, exclusive South America travel and Galapagos cruise experts. Would you like to spotlight your business or sponsor the show? Contact us at peopleandplacestoday